Welcome to ComposeCamp GDSC GHRCE. So this is our today's schedule. We will be learning about Kotlin language. I have divided this lecture into two parts. The first one will be the basic section and the another will be the advanced section. So under basic section, we'll be learning about intro to Kotlin, Kotlin variables, Kotlin data types, Kotlin operators, Kotlin conditionals, Kotlin loops, and then Kotlin functions. And then in advanced section, we'll be learning about object-oriented programming in Kotlin. Then we will learn about classes and objects, constructor, class functions, Kotlin inheritance. Okay, so let's start with our first section, which is the Kotlin basics. So now the first question is, what is Kotlin? So Kotlin is a modern, trending programming language that was released in 2016 by JetBrains. It has become a very popular since it is compatible with Java, one of the most popular programming language out there, which means that Java code and libraries can be used in Kotlin programs. Now the next question is where Kotlin is used. Kotlin is used for mobile application development, web development, server-side applications, data science, and much more. Softwares that are already using Kotlin. The first software which is already using a Kotlin is Amazon Web Services, that is AWS, which is a cloud provider. Then we have Netflix. Netflix is also using Kotlin. Then Uber, then Pinterest, and then Square, and then Coursera. There are huge amount of software they are using Kotlin, but I have listed some of them here. Now, where to code? You can start code along with me in Kotlin Playground, whose link I have shared in the description section. Secondly, you can install the IDEA IntelliJ, the link in the description that how to download this IDEA IntelliJ and start your Kotlin journey. You can code in any IDE you want, like VS Code, but for this, you need to install Kotlin locally and configure it. Let's start with your first program. So, to start the programming in Kotlin, I have given the link to the Kotlin Playground in the description section. Click on that link, and you will jump to this. Okay. Okay, so now let's start with our first Kotlin program. So, like C++, the and Java, the execution of the Kotlin program also starts with main function. So let's create a main function. So this is how we create a main function. So there is a fun keyword followed by main, name of the function, and then arguments, and this is a function body. So here, like the if you want to print something, this is like a Python. Okay, in Python also we do this print, and then in the double quotes we write whatever we want to print. Suppose I want to print apple, I will print apple, and I will just press this run button here, or I can use the shortcut control plus F9. If you are on a Mac, please do check what is the shortcut. So by hovering over this button. Okay, so this is our output. We got the output as apple. So I guess you understand how the basically the Kotlin programming language works and what exactly the Kotlin language is. So let's start with a basic section. So the first topic under Kotlin language is what are the data types in Kotlin. Okay, so what kind of data types are there in the Kotlin language? So the first type of data type is numbers, then secondly is characters, then thirdly strings, then booleans, and then arrays. So let's start with numbers first. So number types are divided into two groups. The first group is integer. Integer type stores whole numbers, positive or negative, such as 123 or minus 456 without decimals. Valid types are byte, short, int, and long. Means integer is also divided into four parts, which the first one is byte, then short, then int, and then long. The second part of a number is floating point numbers. So floating point types represent numbers with a fractional part containing one or more decimals. There are two types, float and double. Okay, so let's go to our Kotlin playground. Okay, so I'm commenting here that we'll be first learning about numbers. Okay, first of all, let's see how to declare a variable in Kotlin. So there are two kind of variables in the Kotlin. The first one is var and the another one is val. Okay, so now what is the difference between var and val? These are just two keywords which we use to declare a variable in a Kotlin. So var represents variable value and val represent constant values. Means if I declare a variable a and I store 2 in it. So this is how we declare a Kotlin variable. Just a var keyword then the name of the variable, and then assignment operator, and just the value which you want to store in A. Optionally, you can also define the data type of this variable. Just right here by giving a colon and then data type, whatever it is. Okay, like if it is a number, so you can directly say number. If it is an integer, you can say integer. So let's first see what is the difference between this var and val keyword. So now in future, if I want to change the value of this A to 5, I can do that. If I want to print A, I will just run this code and print it. So the value of the A should be 5. Yes, we can see that 5 has been printed. But if I declare this A with the val keyword, I would not be able to change the value of the A further. It will be always 2. Because the value of the variable which is declared using the val keyword cannot be changed because it is constant. Let's try to run this. It should give me an error. Yes, val cannot be reassigned. This means if the variable is declared using val keyword, we cannot reassign it. If I remove this line, uh, we will get our result as 2. This is how you can define the data type of a particular variable. Okay, just give the colon and the data type. Like in C++ or C, what we do, we first give the data type, then the variable name, and then the value. So this is how we declare in the C++ or C kind of language. But in case of the Kotlin, we have a val and var keyword, and then we give the name of the variable, and then colon and the data type, and then whatever the value we want to store. Okay, so now let's see what is short, byte, long, and int. What are the difference between all of them? So let me first write all the data types here. The first one is byte, then short, then int, and then long. So let's see what is the difference between these byte, short, int, and long. These were all also there in the Java, all these four. So byte can store the uh, 1 byte of data, 1 byte of data. That means 8 bit of data. Short can store short short can store 2 byte of data. Then int can store 4 byte. Then long can store 8 byte. Now what this mean? This simply means that byte can hold the data within the range 120 minus 128 to plus 127. And similarly, if you want to calculate the range of short, you can just do 2 to the power whatever the bits are there. So there are 16 bits. So 2 to the power 16, 2 to the power 16, and then you will have to subtract 1 because for the sign, this negative sign also hold 1 bit. Okay, sorry, 1 byte. That's why you will have to subtract 1 from it, 1 byte from it. You don't have to calculate it because all these you will find on the internet easily. You can just search about the range of these variables. Okay, sorry, data types. So you can search on the internet about the range of these data types. Okay, so this is the basically difference between this byte, short, int, and long. They are storing the same kind of data type, which is integer, uh, but their range is different. According to the required range, you can use them. Now let's see the type of fractional values. Now, what do you mean by fractional values? Fractional values are the values which has a decimal point. Now let's create a variable and let's store 2.3 in it, and let's try to print a. So it will print 2.3 on the screen, and the type of this 2.3 is either a double or a float. Now what is the difference between double and float? So by default, when we create a variable a and we store 2.3, it is stored as a double. Okay, the 2.3 will be stored in a as a double, and let's try to print this a now. So it will print 2.3 on the screen. Now, what is the difference between float and double? So we use float when we want to store a small values because float is of 4 byte and the double is of 8 byte. Now let's go to the character. What exactly the character is? Character is nothing but a small unit of string. String is a sequence of characters. Character is a single ASCII value which can be stored in a variable using a single code. Suppose a I want to store in a variable. So this a is a character. okay, which is enclosed within this single quotes. Now, if I print this, it will be printed on the screen, character A, without quotes, okay. So this is how it can be printed. So now let's see about string. What exactly the string is. So string is nothing but a sequence of character. As we earlier studied about character, character is nothing but a single ASCII value, uh, which can be stored in a variable. String can be declared like this, where a equals to, and in double quotes, you can store anything in it. I'm storing apple. Now you can print it like this. Okay, semicolon is completely option. I have habit of giving semicolon, that's why I'm giving it. So apple is printed on the screen. So now if we have to confirm that if it is having a type string, we can do like this. Is a keyword in the Kotlin which we can use to ensure that if its data type is string. There are lots of uses of is, but this is one of the use that you can detect the or check the data type of the variable. So I want to check if a is a string or not. So I just written like this. So I have run the program and we can see that true means a is a string. So there are lots of methods on string which you can use. Like you can also access a single values, that will be a single character in this string. Like if I want to access this p, so you will have to count this from index 0, then this p is 1 and this is 2. So if I do, so if I write 2 inside this subscript, it will print p. So this is how you can access the characters within a string. Now, if you want to find anything in this string, so index of is a function which you can use to find anything. The first index, first occurrence, index of something which is written inside this. The first occurrence of that particular thing will be returned. Suppose I want to find the p, character p, if it is present in apple or not. So what I can do is I will write a dot index of string p. Okay, you will have to write string here. So if I run this, it should return me 1. Okay, because the p is present at index 1 first. So it's only the first occurrence. Okay, so I can also try for e. So if I write e here, it should return me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has written me 4. Okay, so this is how you can find any character within a string. You can also concatenate the strings. Okay, like this. If you have this a, okay, and you want to give a space, then you want to write banana here. So if I just run this, it will give me an apple space and banana. So this is how you can also add strings together, but it won't actually add it, but it will concatenate them. Okay, so now let's suppose you want to know the size or the length of the string. How you can do that? You can simply print a dot length. Okay, so dot length is a attribute of the a, which is nothing but an instance of a class string. So we will study about this, what is instance, what is class, what is object in the second part of this video, which will be advanced Kotlin. Okay, so everything in the Kotlin is nothing but a class. String is also called class, int is also class, double is also class, float is also class. All these are the classes. So if we do like this, a dot length, it will print the length of the string, which is 5 in this case. So it has printed 5 on the screen. Now, we learnt about how to declare a string, how to find any character within a string, and not just character, you can find piece of code. Like it is Apple is testing. If this is a string, then if you want to find this string Apple, where is the occurrence of the apple or where is the occurrence of is? So you can also pass is as an argument to that index of function. So let me create one another variable which will be b equals to string, and I'm also storing apple in this as well. Okay, so I'm printing a dot compare to b. Okay, by doing this, if I run the code, I'll get 0 printed on the console since they both strings are equal. So this is how you can compare two strings. You can also check it like this. If a equals to b, it will print true if both the strings are equal, and it will print false if they are not. So it has printed true. Let's see about string templating. Now, what is this string templating? It means if you want to use some variables value inside a string, then you can use it. Now, let's say we are having a variable a whose value is 12, and you want to say print Ajay has 12 apples. Okay, so either you can do is like you can use space here, add a, then plus, and then here you can give double quotes and say apple. Okay, so if you run this, you will get Ajay has 12 apples. Okay, but this is a very hectic way to do this. But what if I tell you that there is a much easier way? Just you have to give this dollar sign and a. If you do this, this completely replaced with this value 12, whatever the value will be inside this. So it has been replaced with 12. Okay, so this is a cool way to do the same thing that we were doing with this large way, complex way. So now let's move to the next data type, which is Boolean. Very often in programming, you will need a data type that can only have one of two values, like yes or no, on or off, true or false. For this, Kotlin has a Boolean data type which can take the value true or false. Two variable A which is having value 2 and a variable B which is having value 3. And if you want to check if they are, both are having same value or not, so you will do like this: if A is equals to B or not. This is nothing but a comparison operator. We will learn about them in the later video. So this just check if the right hand side is equal to left hand side or not. So if I run this, it will check if the value of A and B is same or not. So since it is not, it will print false. So this is how just the Boolean values, and this Boolean data type is used to store the results whose value will be either true or false. For example, conditions. Now let's move to the next data type, which is array. Array are used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of creating separate variable for each value. Example, val cars equal to array of Volvo, BMW, Ford, and Mazda. So array of is nothing but a function which is used to create the array by passing the elements of the array to it. Okay, now let's try to create this array in our Kotlin playground. Okay, so let's say the name of the array is array, and we have a function array of, and in that function we'll pass the elements of an array. Suppose Volvo, then BMW, then suppose Skoda, Audi. Okay, so this is our array. Now, in the same way as we were accessing each character in a string using the subscript notation, we can also access all the elements in an array using a subscript notation. Suppose I want to access the BMW, I will say array of 1 because the index always starts from 0. So if I run this program, it will print BMW on the terminal. So it has printed BMW on the terminal. So it has printed BMW. So this is how the array is. Now let's see what are the operations that we can perform on this array. So now let's see how to find the size of the array and the size of the array. Now to find the size of the array, you have a property named size. Okay, and if you just print this, it will print the size of the array. Okay, as you can see, 4 is printed on the screen, and our array is also having the size 4. Now let's see if the given element is present in the array or not. How to find this? Okay, if given element is in array or not. Let's say if I want to check if BMW is present in the array named array or not. If I write like this, in is a keyword which is used to check if the left hand side is present in the right hand side or not. So we can see that 4 is printed from here. Let me run it once again. And if I run it once again, it will print true on the screen because yes, BMW is present in the array. Type conversion. Type conversion is when you convert the value of one data type to another type. In Kotlin, numeric type conversion is different from Java. There is no concept like explicit and implicit type conversion in Kotlin. To convert a numeric data type to another type, you must use one of the following functions: to byte, to short, to int, to long, to float, to double, or to character. Suppose I have a variable named A whose type is byte and I have stored 2 in it. So now if I want to convert this byte kind of variable into an integer kind of variable, so how I can do this? Here a should be int because we are storing in a variable whose data type is int, but this is byte. So we have a function named toInt which we can use to convert a byte variable into the integer or any variable which into the integer. See, 2 is printed on the screen. Suppose this is a float or double, okay, and it is having value like 2.2323, and I have to convert this into, okay, sorry, and I have to convert this into integer. So I will do a dot to int. So it will convert that float into integer like this. 2 is printed on the screen. So this is how the type conversion works. Now let's see operators in Kotlin. So there are 4 type of operators. These operators are similar to the operators which other language have. Suppose I am having a variable a and 2 is stored in the variable a, and I am having another variable b which is having 3 stored in it. So if I do a plus b and I'll run the code, it will print 5 on the screen. See. Similarly, if you give the minus sign, it will print 2 minus 3, which is minus 1 on the screen. Okay. So similarly, if you multiply them, it will print 6. Okay, so this is how the arithmetic operators work. So now let's see what are the assignment operators. So let's say I'm having a variable named A and I'm storing 2 inside it. And then I'm having a variable named B, which is having 4 inside it. Now what I have to do is I have to add this A into B and I have to store the result inside B. So of how you will do this? You will do B is equals to B plus A, and you will then print B. If you run the code, you will get the output as 6, which is a correct. But if you have to do this in a much easier and cool way, you can directly replace this complete uh, thing equals to B plus with plus equals to simply. And this means the same. This means B equals to B plus A. And if you run the code, you'll still get the result 6. Okay. Similarly, you can do minus equals to or multiply equals to. All the arithmetic operators are valid here. Like if you want to divide equals to, you can also do that. So it will do B by A, which is 2 only. So answer will be 2. Now let's see about relational operators. So relational operators are the operators which specify some relation between two variables. So suppose I'm having variable A and I'm storing 34 in it, and I'm having another variable B and I'm storing 12 in it. Now if I want to check if A is greater than B or not, so this is how I can check just with this greater than operator. If I run this code, it will print true because 34 is always greater than 12. If I replace this with less than, so it will print false because 34 is not less than 12. There is also equal to operator which we have already seen in the string section. So it is printing false because A is not equals to B. Now let's see logical operators. So we are having 3 type of logical operator. The first one is the AND, second one is the OR, and third one is the NOT. So now what are the use of these logical operators? Now let's say you are having 2 or more conditions and you have to check if all the conditions are true, or you want to check if any one of the condition is true. So all these kind of operations can be performed using these logical operators. Suppose you are having a variable name A, which is having 12, then you are having a variable name B, which is having 23, and then you are having a variable name C, which is having 45. So now if you have to check uh, if the C is the largest element out of all these elements. So how you can check? You will check, then you will check if C is greater than A and and C is greater than B. Okay, if these both conditions are true, that is C is greater than A as well and B as well, then we can say that C is the greatest element out of these three. So we can see that true is printed on the screen. That means C is the largest element out of these three elements. So this is how we can combine the conditions. So and what and does is it checks the left condition and the right condition. If both the conditions are true, it will return true. And if suppose this condition is false, I am just reverting this greater than sign to this lesser than. Okay. So if I just run this code, it will print false because this condition is false and this is true. So false all false and true is always a false because to be true in case of the AND operation, both conditions should be true. Now if I just replace this and with OR, whose symbol is like this, and I run, it will return me true because OR will return true if either one of the condition is true. Okay, now let's see what is this not operator. Suppose uh, A is less than B. I want to check if A is less than B. It is obviously it is true because A is 12 and B is 23. That's why A is less than B. And it will, so if I want to revert this condition, I will have to apply this not operator here. So you can see that the condition is become false because of this not operator. So this is a situation uh, that this not operator will be useful when you are using a while loop or some other situations as well. So these are the operators. Now let's move to the next topic. Conditionals. Kotlin has the following conditionals. Use if to specify a block of code to be executed if specified condition is true. Use else to specify a block of code to be executed if the same condition is false. And we can also use else if to specify a new condition to test if the first condition is false. Use and there is one another kind of condition which is when. When is used to specify many alternative blocks of code to be executed. When is like a switch statement in C and C++ and also in Java. So now let's take a look at all of this one by one. So suppose there is a variable named holiday and it is initially having value true. Now if you have to check if there is a holiday, we will print enjoy. Okay. Otherwise, we will print go to job. Go to job. Okay. So let's try to run this. It will print enjoy because there is a holiday. Since the value of the holiday right now is true, this condition is becoming true, and that's why this block of code is running. If holiday is having false, this condition will become false and this else block will run. Okay, so you can see that go to job is printed. Now let's see else if is also there. Else if. So we can do like this, whatever amount of else if we want, we can add here. And here the sequence wise conditions will be checked. The first condition will be checked. If it is false, the second condition will be checked. If it is also false, then third is also false, then and then only else block will be run. Out of this four block, only one block will be executed at once. So if this block has already run, then we will stop the checking and we'll just run this code and we will move to this line. Okay. So let's say holiday is having some number. The first uh, holiday is having some number. Okay. So I'm keeping it one right now. So here I'm checking if holiday equals to one. Okay. Similarly, here I'm checking this holiday equals to two. Here I'm checking this holiday equals to three. Okay. See, so let me copy this paste it here, and here enjoy for 2 days, and here enjoy for 3 days. Okay, so like this I have done. Now since it is having one, enjoy should get printed. Let's run. So enjoy is getting printed. If I just store 2 inside holiday, so it will print enjoy for 2 days. If I store 5, which is not any condition, so this else block will be run. So go to job means there is no holiday. So this block will run. So this is how this if else works. Now similar to the ternary operator in C and C++, uh, and also in Java. So similarly, we can use if statement here in the Kotlin to store some value inside a variable with some condition. So suppose if I want to say like if 2 is greater than 3, then store holiday, else store job. Okay, we can write like this. There is no ternary operator in Kotlin. We can check it by doing so, by printing the holiday and running this program. So if we try to run this program, use semicolon to separate expression on the same line. So it is not working. So instead of that, they are given us this. We can do this. Okay, and then we can print holiday. So if we do this, it will print holiday. No, sorry, job. Because 2 is less than 3 and this condition is false. That's why job will be stored inside this holiday and holiday will get printed. So this is how we can use this if else shorthand. Now let's see what is when statement. So suppose holiday is 1. The similar thing that we did uh, before, like if the holiday is 1, print enjoy. If holiday is 2, enjoy for 2 days. If holiday is 3, enjoy for 3 days. And if it is nothing, then print go to job. So similar kind of thing we can do using the very statement as well. We just have to uh, pass this holiday here, and here we can write all the possible conditions, like if holiday is 1, if holiday is 1, uh, then print enjoy. Okay, and you have to give the semicolon here. Then if holiday is 2, print enjoy for 2 days. Similarly, I'm copy pasting this now. Okay, suppose this is for 3, this is for 4, 3 here, 4 here, 3 here. And then at the end, if none of this condition matches, in case of the Java, C and C++, we were using switch statement, and there is a default keyword which we were using in case of this else. But in Kotlin, we are using else keyword here. So go to job, semicolon. So if we run this code, okay, I think we did something wrong. So we forgot placing arrow here in the else block. So after placing it, if we just run the code, since the value of holiday is 1, enjoy is printed. So if we give 5, which is not present, it should print go to job. And as expected, the result is go to job. So this is how you can use when statement. Now, if you want to store this particular string into a variable, suppose the result is the name of the variable, and you want to store this string instead of printing it for the further use, you can do like this. You need to remove this all print statement. Okay, now if you print the result here, the result will hold one of the string. So you can see that go to job is there in the result. Similarly, if I do this 2, so enjoy for 2 days will be printed on the screen, because it will be returned from this function uh, and stored into the result. So this is how this when statement works in this Kotlin language. And these are the only two conditional statements in Kotlin language. Now, let's move to loops. So there are three types of loop in for Kotlin. The type of loops in Kotlin are for, while, and do while. You are aware with these three loops, but there is one change in the for loop. We don't have the traditional for loop like we were doing in the C++, C, or Java, in which we were having three compartments in the for loop. The first one is initialization, the second one is a condition, and the third one is an increment or decrement. So such kind of thing is removed from the Kotlin, and we are having a latest for loop which is which uses the in keyword. Like in Python, we use in keyword. In the similar way, Kotlin is also using in keyword now. The while loop is similar, not similar, but exactly same to the while loops in C, C++, and Java. And same for do while. Do while is also same as in C, C++, and Java. So let's look at them one by one. But before learning about the for loop, we will have to learn about range in Kotlin. So let's get started with range first. So let me remove this code. Now, what exactly the range is? Range is nothing but the numbers, all the numbers coming from the start to the end. Suppose I want the number of range between this. So I need all the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So this is the range, okay, from 1 to 4. So as we write like this, in the Kotlin, there is the dot dot keyword, this one. So not a keyword, but operator. So this is the operator which we use to create the range. Now let's see how the for loop is used with this range. So I in range. Range will be suppose from 1 to 10. Okay. So and what I'll do, I'll just print this I. Since I want space, I'll use templating, string templating. So dollar and I and then space. So if I do this, the numbers from 1 to 10 will get printed, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up till 10. So this is very modern for loop in which you don't have to write all those three compartments. You just have to use this in keyword. Even you don't have to specify the data type of I. It will be the Kotlin is smart enough to understand that I will be integer because the range is integer. You can also create a range of characters from A to dash dash Z like this. Okay, and if you just print it, all the ABCD up till Z will be printed like this. If you want small ABCD, you will have to do like this. So it will print all the small characters. Similarly, if you want to uh, like customize the step of the range according to you, like if you want only even or odd ranges, so odd, sorry. So if you want only even or odd elements, so what are you going to do? So you can do one range to. There is a range to function. One dot range to function. So using this, if you write like this, if you write like this is same as writing one dot dot four. Okay. So this is and this one are same. But there is a one difference between using like this and using like this. If you use like this by specifying this dot and then range to 4, you can specify step. The step will be 2 in this case. And I'm increasing this range up till 10. So I will get 1, then 3, all the odd numbers. I'll get all the odd numbers. So if I run this 1, then increment will be 2, 3 will print it, then increment will be 2, then 5 will print it, then increment will be 2, then 7 will be printed, and thus all these odd number will get printed. So suppose if I start from 0, so all the even numbers will get printed, including 0. Okay, so this is how you can like specify the step count as well. But now you might be getting question like, what if I want to run a loop from 10 to 0, like in the decrement? So that also can be done. You just have to do like this. Down to, down to is a function which we use to do that. Down to 0. Okay, so down to 0, and okay, there is one problem. Invalid reference to down to, it's saying. I guess, yeah, this should be small. Down to, yeah, it's correct. So from 10 to 0, we can print all the numbers. Here also you can increase the step or decrease the step according to your requirement. So 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, all the even numbers. So this is how the for loop in the Kotlin works. Now let's see how we can print all the elements in an array using this for loop. Suppose I'm having an array named array equals to array of keyword, that function that we use to create an array. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is an array and I want to print elements in this array. So for I in add, okay, add is the name of the array. So this is the I will get replaced with all the elements in the array one by one. So if I print I here and I run the code, all the elements will get printed. Now what if I want just these these numbers, alternative numbers? Okay, so for that you will have to use subscript notation. So I in range, oh, sorry, you don't have to write a range actually, but what you can do is from 0 range to, okay, range to function you can use, and you can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is up till 6. But you don't have to manually calculate the 6, because if there are thousands of number, you are not going to calculate them. You can directly say array dot size. Array dot size, there is a function named array dot size, which we have already seen. And you can subtract 1 from it since it is 0 based. So this will create the range from 0 to 6. But we want the step size of 2. So that's why we will have step 2. And now here instead of I, we will print array of I. Okay. So if I run this, I'll get okay. After I print, cannot invoke as a function. The function invoke is not defined. It is saying that array dot size function is not defined. Okay, maybe it's a property. I did it wrong. Yeah, sorry. It was not a function. It is a property. Uh, so we can do like this dot size, and like we were doing in the case of string, we were doing dot length, but in case of array, we have to just do array dot size and -1. So this is the range we created, and our I is iterating from 0 till 6, and we are having a step count of 2, and that's why we are printing only odd numbers 1, 3, 5, and 7. So this is how the for loop works in Kotlin. Now let's see how the while loop is used. So while loop is same as that of C and C++ and Java. This is a variable I which I created, and while, and then we write a condition here like I is less than 10, and we do I plus plus, I plus plus. Okay, and you can just print this I here. Okay, so this is same. Okay, so this is how all the numbers are getting printed, 2, 3, 4 up till 9, since the condition is less. Similarly, we are having do while loop. So I will remove this condition from here, and I'll write just do here, and in here I'll write while, and I'll paste the condition. So if I do like this, uh, until I is less than 10, this code will run. So if I just run this code, the same result 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are the loops in Kotlin. I hope you guys understand everything that I explained here. If you're having any doubt, you can comment in the description section, or you can contact me via the contact I will share at the last slide. Okay, so we are done with this loops. Now let's see what are the function. Function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data known as parameters into a function. Functions are used to perform certain actions, and they are also known as methods. Main is also a function. So to declare a function inside a Kotlin, we just have to give this one keyword, then the name of the function, then this argument list, and then whatever you want to write here. Suppose I want to print hello world. So this, and when you want to call the function, you just have to say name and this parenthesis and semicolon. If you run this, you'll get the output hello world. So if similarly, if you want to create a sum function which sum the two variables, so to do so, you will have to pass the argument to this function. So how to pass the argument to the function? To pass the argument, you will have to specify the variable name. You can give any name you want. And I'm giving a for the first variable. Then by the colon, you will have to specify its data type int. Okay, then b, and it's also the type is int. Okay, so this kind of arguments are expected. Now we can print a plus b, a plus b, or we can return it. So I want to print. So let's pass 2 and 3 and let's check if it is working. So if I run this code, it will print 5. Okay, so it is working. But now, what if I want to do and say sum equals to a plus b? So how I can do this with string templating? I can do like this. Okay, a plus b. So if I do this, okay, it's not working. Yeah, I guess it should be like this. Instead of square bracket, it should be curly braces. So if I run this, yeah, you can see that sum equals to 5 is printed instead of square bracket. If you're aware with the JavaScript, you might know this syntax. This is a expression which is should be evaluated first, and then only everything here written is replaced with that result. Okay, so this is how it works. Now, suppose you directly want to return this sum. Okay, you don't have to print here. You have to return this. So there is a return keyword which you specify, and then you return it. And you have a variable named result here in which you want to store it, and then you will print it, print the result. Okay, so if I run this code, the result will be type mismatch. It is saying type mismatch. It's int, but unit was expected. Now what exactly this problem is and what exactly this statement is saying? It is saying that the function must return a unit, but it is returning some integer kind of value. So this is a problem because we have not specified the return type of this function, and that's why by default the return type of any function is unit. Okay, so we unit is another kind of data type. Okay, which you don't need to understand completely, but you can just like keep in mind that any function by default returns unit. So this is how you can specify the data type, or sorry, not data type, but the return type of the function. So just like we were doing in case of the variable, you will have to do in case of the function. Just write the colon and the return type of the function. So if you now run this program, you must get the correct output, which is 5. So yeah, you're getting the correct output. So this is how you create the function in Kotlin and use it. Okay, also what you can do is you can specify default parameters. Suppose A is 34 and B as 12. So if did this, so what will happen is if you don't pass any kind of argument, okay, so still it will not give you an error. It will print 46. Why? Because if no argument is provided here, it will assume that the argument is 34 and 12 because they are the default parameters. Let's try this one. The first argument will not specify, but second argument will specify. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it's not possible to do so. We need to specify both the arguments or only the first argument, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, we can only pass the first argument, but we cannot do with that second argument like this. Okay, if we do so, it will give me an error. So either you have to completely not specify the arguments or just specify the arguments sequence wise. Now there is a named argument. See, this is A and 34. This is B and 12. So there is a name. You can also specify A as 23 and B as 45. Let's try this. As you can see, I passed this thing. So A will be having 23 and B will be having 45 and their answer is 68. Suppose I then reorder them, like B is first and then I'm passing A. So let's see whether it is giving the right answer or not. So yes, you can see that the right answer is given to us. So this is how the function works. All the function body, we are only having the return statement and nothing else. So we can directly return it using this shorthand syntax. Just give this equal to symbol and then a plus b. So this will directly return. Okay, you don't have to specify that curly braces and then return statement. It will directly return. See, it is working. So this is a shorthand expression, or you can say the lambda function. Okay, so this is all about functions. Now let's move to the advanced Kotlin topic. Now finally, we are going to learn about the advanced, and you, congratulations to you that you are well aware with the basics of Kotlin. Now let's learn Kotlin Advanced. Okay. So our topic one will be OOPS in Kotlin. Now, what is OOPS? OOPS is the object-oriented programming. Procedural programming is about writing procedures or methods. Now, what is method and procedure? Methods is nothing but a function that we just seen right now. So that perform operation on the data, while object-oriented programming is about creating objects that contain both data and methods. So, do you understand the meaning of this paragraph? It is just saying that in case of the procedural programming, we're having the data and methods separate, and we are just writing methods differently. But in case of the object-oriented programming, we create a class, and using that class, we create the instances of that class, which is called as object, and uh, that object is having methods and data together. Now, what do they mean by data and methods together? So data is nothing but the variables like age, email, phone number. Okay, so these kind of variables and the methods like print my name. Say, suppose print my name is a method or get my name. So these are the methods and the variables will be combined together into a same class. So this is what the object-oriented programming is. Object-oriented programming has several advantages over procedural programming. Let's look at them. OOP is faster and easier to execute. Okay, so OOP is faster and easier for the compiler to be get executed. Okay, so OOP provides a clear structure for the program. So when OOP is used, you can clearly understand what exactly the program is wanted to do. Okay, then OOP helps to keep the Kotlin code dry. Now, what do you mean by dry? Dry is nothing but a don't repeat yourself. यानी कि means the reusability of the code increases. You can reuse the code and make the code easier to maintain, modify, and debug. OOP make it possible to create full reusable application with less code and shorter development time. So it reduces the development time. So now let's take a look at what exactly a class and object is. Everything in a Kotlin is associated with classes and objects, along with its properties and functions. For example, in real life, a car is an object. The car has properties such as brand, weight, and color, and functions such as drive, brake, accelerate, etc. A class is like an object constructor. Class is nothing but a blueprint for creating an object. Object is instance of a class. Now let's see how exactly a class is created in programming. So let's get back to our Kotlin playground and let's create our first class. So let's create a class. Class is created using a class keyword followed by a name of a class, suppose a car. Then in this curly braces, we specify the methods and the properties directly. Suppose the car is having color and the color is suppose red. Then it is having weight, suppose 500 kg. Suppose it is having a height of 5 feet. Now let's create some properties. Suppose horn. Okay, horn is one of the properties. So horn. So it will print beep beep. Okay, and then we have one break. Okay, so break is actually a predefined keyword in Kotlin, so we cannot use it. So I'm giving break underscore. So I'll print break, or we can say stop. Then let's create one another function, accelerate, and let's write something like increase the speed. Okay, so this is what a class is. Now our class is ready. Now we need to create object of this class. So let's create one object. Now how to create an object? I hope you understand how to create a class right now. Now let's see how to create an object. Object can be created using this where keyword only. Like we create our data types, variables using data types, predefined data types. So let's give a name object obj. or we can say like BMW. Let's say BMW, and now call the car here like this. Like we call a function, we have to call this class. Okay, so this will return an object and will be stored in the BMW. Now you can access any thing from this class because everything is by default public. Suppose I want to uh, I want to access the color of the car. So I will do I can access the color using this dot operator. Okay, BMW is an object, then dot operator, and whatever you want to access from this class. So if I run this, it will print red. So as you can see, it has printed red. Now if I want to access horn, so I will say horn. I will call it actually because it's a function, not a property. So if I do this, it will print beep beep, and Kotlin unit is also getting printed because I have called this function inside a print statement. So it is returning unit uh, type of data. That's why it is printing that. Okay, sorry. Now if I run this, it will print beep beep. So this is how exactly this class and object works. You can create multiple objects using a single class. I want to create Audi, so I'll create Audi and I can call this car like this. If I want to create a Skoda equal to, I can call this car and I can run this. It will not give me an error, but it is saying that you have never used these variables. So let's print BMW dot color, then print Audi Audi dot Audi dot height, and print Skoda dot fit. Okay, if we do so in a single line, okay, okay, it is saying reference unresolved reference to height. Yeah, because it is in capital and it's case sensitive, so it should be same as it is. So we have printed this height and then weight. So here, if I run this code right now, it will print everything in a single line. Red, then 5 feet, and then 500 kgs. Now let's see the next topic, which is constructors. So what is a constructor? Constructor is a special function that is used to initialize the attribute of a class. Now suppose in the same example here, we want to initialize this variables according to this car. Okay, like it is possible that BMW is red but Audi is white, Skoda is green. Okay, so these all things are possible, and it is also possible that Audi is having the height of 5 feet, and then Skoda is having a height of 6 feet. So for all these things, we need to have some thing which can be used to initialize these variables. Okay, these are initialized by default here. So to do so, we can just pass arguments to this class, and this is nothing but a constructor, primary constructor. So you have to specify the arguments here, like we did in the function. So color and its type will be string. So string. Then we need a weight, and here we will be having a weight in suppose double. Then we will be having a height. Suppose like height will be also be in double. So like this. Now you can pass any value here and that will be stored in this color. Suppose I pass color as red here. Okay, not red but green. Then I passed the weight to be 600 and the height to be 6 feet. Then here I passed the color to be black, then 700 kgs, and the height will be 5 feet or 5.4 feet. Okay. Then in this, I will be giving it a color of purple, then weight of 550.3 kgs, and the height to be 4.9. Okay, now if we just run this code, we are getting some error. Integer literal does not conform to the expected type double. Maybe I have given some integer value here and we are passing it to double. So that's why it is giving an error. So I need to do is 6.0, 600.0, because I have already learnt about typecasting. There we studied that there is no implicit typecasting in Kotlin. So we cannot pass integer from here. Okay. So even though we passed all this thing here, it is printing the same. The reason behind is because we not stored that past value here. So to do so, you need to replace this with color, this with the height, sorry, weight, and this with height. This is not necessary that this name and this name should be same. You can give any name to it. Okay, like if I want to give C here, I will give C. Then for this I want to give W, I will give W. So, but just I need to replace that with here as well. So H. Okay. Now if I run this code, it should work. Yes. So for BMW color, it was green, so green was printed. For Audi height, it was 5.4, so 5.4 was printed. Then for Skoda's weight, it was 550.3 kgs, so it is 550.3 kgs printed. So this is how the constructor is used. Now let's take a look at the last topic of this video, which is inheritance. Kotlin inheritance, subclass and superclass. In Kotlin, it is possible to inherit class properties and functions from one class to another. We group the inheritance concept into two categories. The first category is subclass, which is a child class, the class that inherits from another class. Then superclass, which is a parent, the class being inherited from. See in this Kotlin program how to implement inheritance in Kotlin. So let's create a class called parent class. Then in here, let's create a property named a name. Okay, and suppose the name is Ajay. Okay, and there is a one property named print name. Print name. Okay, one keyword is there. Then arguments, and let's print the name. Name is name. Okay, now let's inherit one class from this class. So to inherit one child class from this parent class, we just have to do like this colon, and we have to call that class here like this. That's it. We are done. Now, if we want to call this class in this class, we can do one thing, that we can create the instance of this class and can access all these data, because all these things are inherited into this child class as well. So let's try this. Okay, so to do so, we can create an object, a child object. We can say child underscore obj, and let's create like this. And now let's try to print the child underscore obj dot name. Okay, so if we run this, we are getting some errors. Now let's see what are the errors. Expecting a member declaration. This type is final, so it cannot be inherited from. Sorry, I forgot to give this where keyword here. So if I give this where keyword here, now since again it is saying that this is a final, so it cannot be inherited from. Because it by default the class is having a type final, we need to specify it as a open so that we can inherit from that class. So we need to specify this open keyword for the parent class so that we can inherit from that class. So now since I marked that class as an open, by default it was final. So if it is final, we cannot inherit anything from that class. So it should be open to be inheritable. So we can inherit from that class. Now we can also call the method child underscore obj dot print name. Okay, so if we do like this, uh, we can call like this. Okay, so my name is Ajay is printed. So guys, I hope you understand all the concepts explained in this video, and If you are having any doubt, you can comment in the description section, or you can mail me on this email, or you can contact me on LinkedIn using this ID. Okay. So thank you so much for attending this video, and let's uh, meet in another video.